Greetings, bike guys and bike gals. We wanted to show you one of the special one-off Rieju MR300 Pro version bikes that our mechanic Scott has put together. This is his personal bike. It had a lot of neat trick parts on it, so I want to point those out to you. So stick around. Well, welcome back into the shop, bike guys and bike gals. I wanted to walk around Scott's bike with you and let you see what he's been doing with his. So there's some really fun stuff on this bike that Scott likes his bikes all customed out, and I appreciate that. But I wanted to show you a couple things that are not. This is the MR300 Pro, which comes with a lot of trick stuff right from the get-go. But Scott liked these gray boot protectors on here, and it does a nice job. He put a gray side cover protector on there. Underneath that is a billet clutch cover with a oil fill cap on it. And this is a really nice addition because the way the oil fills into the transmission on these things is a bit difficult. The hole is small and it's hard to get to. So a company, the ACP, I think is what it's called. Anyway, we'll get that information for you. Makes this cover, and then it makes it a lot easier to change the oil. And why? Because you're putting in the oil here, and there's the filler or the sight glass there. The problem with the stock bike is the filler's on that side, and then the visuals over here. So he made some changes with that. One of the other things that Scott put on here is a foldable brake pedal. So when you hit the brakes, or if you're in the rocks, it'll push that dude up. That's a neat piece. I also wanted to point out these foot pegs are made by Fly. Now if you get down and look down the peg this way, see how it's got a curve to it? This is called the contour peg. This particular size is built for rally bikes and that. They also have a standard size one. But the round top on there makes it easy to make transitions back and forth as you move your feet back and forth to hit the brake, or if you're sitting on the back of the bike for traction or something like that and your feet roll, and you're not just standing on one edge like you do on many other pegs. So if you roll over, then you'll just have one bar of traction, and here you got several teeth of traction. So those are kind of neat little things. He also added these swing arm protectors on here, also in that same gray. These are made of polisport. So he put that piece on there to clean that up. It's the same polisport on these case covers. And let's see. Oh, I wanted to point out, this is a higher pressure. I think it's a 2.2 or 2.1. I can't see on the, yeah, it's a 2.1 radiator cap. So that if the radiators do get hot, they hold the pressure a lot better. Then if you look down, as we go down here, he put the E3 hoses on there. It's a hose kit that comes. These are the silicone hoses running down on the head and that. The Pro version comes with this fan kit already installed on it. Now the pipe itself, interestingly enough, this is from Bud Racing. It's a HGS pipe, and Scott has added that to the motor, and it kind of changed the characteristics a little bit. So it was a little less powerful at mid RPM, but it revved further, made a longer pull on it. While we're right down here looking, I wanted you to see the S3 head that he added to it to raise the compression on the motor in the red color. So one other thing that Scott has added to this bike is radiator braces. You can see the bars running across here, but they run behind the radiator shrouds, but they put a triangular bracing on here. There's bracing front and rear on it so that if he does drop the bike, it won't have a chance to bend the radiator. On the front forks, he's added these carbon fiber covers over the front just to keep them from getting damage, you know, from roost and other things that might be coming up on there, protect the forks. The Xting clamps on here come on the Pro version. They're also available if you want to do an upgrade on it. I wanted to point out the polisport disc guard that Scott has added to the process here too. It comes with a mounting bracket. It has protectors for the bottom of the forks. There's also one for the other side to protect the bottom of the forks. If you get caught up in the rocks and things like that, you don't end up beating up the bottom of the forks. Okay, so then I wanted to point out the bar clamps that are on here. These are also from Xting, and they're designed to fit into the Xting triple clamps, but they put a damper, this is a polymer damper on here, which takes up a bunch of the vibration on the bars, gives it some forward and aft flex. Now the bars themselves, Scott ended up changing the bars. The Pro version comes with a rental bar with a crossbar on it, and he prefers to have his bars without the crossbar, so he went that route. And then down here is one of the trickiest pieces he put on the bike. This is the Precision Racing Parabolic Damper. This is a steering damper. It's adjustable. It's got adjustments under here so you can set up that, but it has a really unique way it clamps onto the frame here, and then this is parabolic, which means it's got a double hinged ball system on it. So as the bars move around and that sort of thing, it's not stuck in one place. There, right there is the quick adjust system for it, so you can set it at whatever design you like there. I'll point out the ESV gas cap he's added on here. It's an aluminum billet piece. It's been powder coated or whatever like that. We just showing you what he's done to the bike. Now coming down back onto the motor, right here he added the covers for the power valve on here. These are AS3 as well. That's his bike number 111, which you'll see that in a minute. And then we had a guy etch the Bike Guys logo in there, so we can add some custom stuff to some of these parts if you'd like them. We have a vendor who does this kind of laser work, and he showed it, or he wanted to do it for a sample for us, so he did that on Scott's bike. This is that gray polisport cover for the ignition cover over on here. Now, stepping into another trick item is this Xting carburetor. Let me see if I got to get the right name on it. It's the Xting Generation 3 Pro Carb, 38 millimeter, and it's a Asian version of Smart Carb or some of the other brands, but it works more like a fuel injection. Although it's not fuel injected, it's a carburetor, but it works more like a fuel injection. It's able to compensate for altitude and temperature changes and that sort of thing, and it's very easy to tune. So we're in the testing process with that. So these are Techone made up some side number boards for Scott. Techone here is the one that did the design on that, and then we had them printed. We've got the matching one on the front, and then also the Pro version comes with this clear but traction cover for these both side covers, and we like to add those to them. They're not expensive at all. They're like $8 or something like that, and it keeps your boot from tearing up your side panels. And in this case, we have the Bike Guys logo under there. And then when the bike's ridden, it's not tearing up the side panels. I'm sure you've all had your side panels tore up at one time or the other. It protects the graphic and protects that, and then they're inexpensive to replace. These things last for months, so that's no problem. One other thing I was just going to point out here on the carburetor is he's added a fuel filter to the system. These are inexpensive and easy to come by, but I just thought I'd point that out for you guys. And here's another shot of the red radiator hoses. I think we already have those in there. So, well, that's kind of a wrap up on what Scott's done with his bike so far. It's a work in progress, and I would expect that he's going to continue to do more work on it as time goes, and we'll place up some more videos on some of the other things that we're ending up doing with the Rieju. The Rieju is a really great platform for tricking out like that, and we've really enjoyed adding things to it. So if you got questions about these parts, there's a parts list in the description, and if you have interest in any of these parts of that, call our shop or send us an email or whatever. We'd love to see some comments on the build. We'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.